Hi you guys, Erin here. I just feel super called to make a little video for you guys to explain some possible astrological forces that have a lot to do with this coronavirus, okay? Because people are just freaking out. I was out shopping today and I could not believe the amount of fear that I was seeing. I mean, the canned food section was just empty, rice gone, toilet paper gone. Like, what is up with that? I don't understand. But anyway, back in 2018, I started realizing we were going to have a pretty heavy year in 2020. And a lot of it has to do with the sign of Capricorn, okay? So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through my book that I went to school at, American Federation School of Astrologers, okay? And I'm just taking words right out of my book to describe the astrological forces that we are receiving right now, okay? So, in the sign of Capricorn, we have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node, okay? Now, the sign of Capricorn, what these energies are doing, these celestial bodies are beaming through the sign of Capricorn. The sign of Capricorn manifests ambitiously, prudently, coolly, fearfully, rigidly, and responsibly. Okay, that's Capricorn energy. Now, beaming through that, again, is Mars, okay? And Mars is considered the planet of war. I mean, amongst so many other things, Mars is actually, it's a very sexual energy. It's a very masculine energy. It's very action-oriented. Has a lot to do with how we put things into action and that sort of thing. So I don't mean to make Mars sound like a bad thing at all. It's just, maybe it's not doing so well with all the other celestial energies it's combined with, beaming through the sign of Capricorn. Mars does really not like to be in the sign of Capricorn. Regardless, here we go. Right out of my book. This is Mars energy. Accidents, aggressive, injury, hyperactive, force, conquest, dynamic, initiative, assertive, pioneer, bold, courage, to be the first, irritation, frustration, anger, violence, destruction, fabrication, construction, war, military, soldier, fight, danger, hot, cuts, burglary, hate, and rage. Okay, so that's Mars. Now, right next to Mars is Jupiter, and Jupiter is actually a really, really lovely energy. But, again, it's functioning right between Mars and Saturn. Okay, so Jupiter actually expands energy. It can bring abundance. It can bring excessiveness, okay? Now, again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the words right out of my book here to describe Jupiter's energy. Philosophy, religion, science, law, professions, higher learning, compassion, wisdom, long journeys, growth, generosity, gregarious, optimism, faith, hope, luck, gamble, jovial, humor, counseling, magnanimous, and charitable, okay? So, again, that's really lovely energy, and that's really has a lot to do with what's going to help us get through this process. Okay, so now, here's Mars, here's Jupiter, and here's Saturn. And today is March 13th, okay? And this is going to change as days go by, but most of these energies move fairly slowly, so it's going to take some time. And not only that, but some of them are going to retrograde and come back together. So anyway, Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn. And that being said, Saturn is actually working with a little bit of ease here, okay? When a celestial body is in the sign or the constellation that it rules, that's where it works with ease, okay? So a lot of the words here that I describe Capricorn with are also going to, be in the Saturn energy. Saturn rules structure and limitations. Okay, some key words to describe Saturn's energy: fear, loss, pain, obstacles, depression, adversity, patience, caution, security, discipline, control, restraint, responsibility, organization, sternness, seriousness, time, clock, ends, form, agricultural, crystal, form, crystals, okay? Foundation and old age. Okay, so that's Saturn working with Mars and Jupiter. Now, on the other side of Saturn is Pluto. Pluto brings transformational processes, very powerful transformational processes, okay? It's has a lot to do with like the degeneration and regeneration process, basically death and rebirth, not just death and rebirth, okay? So some keywords to describe Pluto's energy: extremes, horrible, transmutation, crucible, refractory, atomic energy, regeneration, subversion, coercion, transformation, sewage, elimination, hidden forces, and inner psyche. Okay, I actually wrote about this in the beginning of the year, about how a lot of this is going to have to do with fear and our inner psyche. So, again, those energies are all kind of working as one right now, beaming through this very structured energy that can create a lot of fear in people, okay? And now let's talk about the South Node. The South Node is not conjunct. It's in the sign of Capricorn, but it's a little further away. The South Node, it's not a planet, or it's not a luminary. It's basically a part of there's the North and South Node, which is parts of the moon, and it depends on where they are on the ecliptic. Okay, but it has a very strong influence here on Earth. And basically the South Node exposes energies that we need to move beyond. Okay, so that has a lot to do with what's going on here. And the North Node is in the sign of Cancer, which is sensitive and emotional. That's the direction we want to be going in. We want to really gain some compassion for people through this process. That's my opinion anyway, okay? And it's an educated opinion. Let's see, what else have we got going on? We got the Sun in Pisces, okay, which is a very spiritual energy. It's very friendly and, again, very compassionate. That these water signs can have a tendency to heighten compassion. And also, it can create delusions, okay? It's not a very strong energy when the Sun is in Pisces. It's at the end. We're getting near the sign of Aries here. We're getting near springtime where we can spring back into action. But the sign of Pisces is kind of fragile. And Neptune is in Pisces, which is good. Neptune rules Pisces, and it's working with some ease. But again, there can be some cause for delusions or, even illusions, okay? So that's just a lot of energy going on here that is, it's pretty intense. And I totally get it. I totally understand. I'm watching people at the grocery store walking around in fear, and everybody's got masks on, and everybody's bumping elbows instead of, shaking hands. And, here I am. I just want to hug people and tell them it's okay. This is going to pass. And honestly, yeah, we might lose some people. There might be some death through this process. That's part of the death and rebirth, okay? And that likely will play a part in us, heightening our sense of compassion. Okay, now, just really briefly, what am I doing to protect myself through all this? I personally am using a lot of medicinal mushroom tea, okay? That's one of the greatest things we can do to boost our immune system, okay? And that's really all we need, is to be healthy to get through this, And it's hard for some people. I mean, I've got an autoimmune disease, but I'm not living in fear. I feel confident that I can keep myself protected with things like I'm using agarikon mushroom tea because it has a very strong antiviral properties to it. Okay, and the biggest things here is I'm using something called coated silver. It's basically like colloidal silver is usually like 10 parts per million. It can get up to like 200 parts per million. This is 20,000 parts per million. Okay, this is extremely strong antiviral medicine here. This is going to protect me against anything. And I just put 1 drop in my medicinal mushroom tea a day. I'm not going to show you because I already put my drop in my medicinal mushroom tea this morning. Now, after that, after 2 hours that I have already drinking that tea, then I have another cup of tea and I put in, this is Lugo's solution, iodine. Okay, and there's tons of other really good sources of iodine out there. I just happen to have this. And personally, I've been doing iodine for a while, so I'm confident in using 5 drops. But if you're just starting out, you might want to just do like 1 or 2 drops. It also depends on the percentage. This is a 2%. I think there's a 5%, which is even stronger. So you might want to be a little careful about what kind you get. You know, reach out to me, leave a comment, you know, if you have any questions about that. But so about 2 hours after I've had my coated silver in my tea, that's when I put in my iodine, because I don't want to combine those things. I don't want to combine the silver and the iodine, but separately. They are very, very, very strong antivirals, or, you know, protects my body against viruses, amongst many other things, bacteria and funguses, all that stuff. And then just some basic things like lysine. Lysine is one of the best antivirals you can get. I just happen to have this super lysine, and I like this one because it's also got a synthetic vitamin C. Okay, all vitamin C is great when you're trying to get through flu season and all that sort of thing, but synthetic vitamin C's, more specifically ascorbic acid, tends to be stronger against, or work more effectively against, viruses. Okay, so that's why I like this. Lysine is very strong against viruses, and then you add in the ascorbic acid. It's also got, garlic in here, and echinacea, propolis, licorice root, all kinds of good stuff. So this is called super lysine. That's just what I have. Again, there's so many other kinds of lysine out there you can get. And then I also like to take something called Defense Plus. This is grapefruit seed extract. This is just basic immune boosters, you know. Let's see, what's in here? Grapefruit seed extract, astragalus, reishi mushroom, echinacea, ginger root, maitake mushroom, shiitake mushroom, yarrow extract, and Oregon grapefruit. Okay, so that's just stuff I just take every once in a while, especially when we're going through Pisces season alone, because it's like we've been through winter and our immune systems are shutting down. We're lacking in the sun's vitamin D and all those things. So I just try to keep myself strong with this sort of thing, regardless of what kind of coronavirus blah is going on out there. So anyway, I guess I'm just going to sum it up here. I think I covered everything. I hope I did. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and I will do my best to respond as soon as possible. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Namaste.